Hey, and welcome to my channel Stuff About Stuff, where I talk about stuff, in my opinion. And on this episode, we're going to be talking about fasting. Now, there's three kinds of fasting. There's intermittent fasting, dry fasting, and longer-term water fasting. What are they? Well, with intermittent fasting, you can fast for 12 hours, 14 hours, 16 hours, 20 hours, or even up to 24 hours. Now, dry fasting is exactly the same as intermittent fasting, except you drink no water whatsoever. Now, what happens is your body starts to take the water from your saturated fats, separate those fats, then consume that water. Now, that's amazing. And that's what happens when you let your body look after itself. When you're not digesting food, your body starts to use that energy from digesting food to heal yourself. Then there's also longer-term water fasting, where you can fast for 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 5 days, 10 days, or even up to 40 days. Now, if you're going to fast for up to 40 days, you do need to work your way up to that, and you probably will need supervision. Now, first, it takes a lot of discipline to go 14 hours or even 12 hours without eating. It doesn't take too long to actually get the hang of it. 16 hours, 20 hours, and even 24 hours actually becomes pretty easy. What happens is after 14 hours, your growth hormones start to kick in. Your pituitary gland releases growth hormone into your blood system, and that growth hormone heals your body. It helps build muscle and build tissue, and in effect helps anti-aging. Studies show that fasting for up to 24 hours can increase your growth hormones by 2,000%. After 16 hours, your body starts to go through a phase called autophagy, autophagy. As strange as it sounds, means to eat oneself, which is also as strange as it sounds. Now, autophagy is a Greek word that means auto, self, phagy in Greek means phagita, to food or to eat. So it basically means self-eating, autophagy, self-eating, autophagy. So your body goes through this phase of self-eating, where cells within the cells will start to find cells that are dead cells and eat those cells. So autophagy is when your good cells eat the weaker cells, and that's what you really want. That's one of the main benefits of fasting. However, after 20 hours or 24 hours, your body starts to release stem cells. Now, stem cells are the bam. Stem cells, you got to go to Panama to get stem cells. People go to Panama to get stem cells injected. Stem cells are, in effect, like ghost cells. They're cells that can duplicate any other cell that needs duplicating. So basically, it goes out, finds cells that need replacing, and replaces themselves. They're also known as the God cell. So what can you eat when you're fasting? Nothing. That's why it's called fasting, because you don't eat. You hold steadfast. That's where the word comes from. You let your body rest. So your body doesn't consume anything. When your body's not consuming anything, like I said, it starts healing itself. And that's what you want. That's the beauty, the magic of the human body. Now, in saying that, you can drink water, and most of the time you probably do want to drink water. Drinking water won't affect the growth hormone development, it won't affect the stem cell development, and it won't affect the autophagy stage. So when you're fasting and you're drinking water, drink plenty of it. It helps flush out your body, it helps flush out your kidneys and your liver. Now, when you drink water, try and drink better quality waters. Don't drink tap water which is pumped full of chemicals. Your body absorbs those chemicals, especially if you're drinking water in large amounts. Try and drink alkaline water or drink bottled water that's in BPA free, so you're not getting any plastics. If you can, go up to the forest and get spring water out of the bush and filter it once and drink it. I'm sure it's amazing for you. It's good. Now, it's also okay to drink other kinds of fluids that won't trigger your metabolism, like coffee or green tea or many other sorts of teas that aren't herbal. Anything that's not going to trigger your insulin will help your body keep burning fats. And some of them will actually help increase the growth hormone stage and the autophagy stage. Now, sometimes I drink coffee and teas when I'm fasting, and that does help the autophagy phase, but it still triggers the digestion phase. Sometimes you just want to switch off. You don't want anything except water. One of the other main benefits of all this is it stops something called telomere shortening. That's on the end of your DNA, and that's what actually ages you. So when you're fasting, your body is preserving that telomere, and it's preserving essentially your DNA. If you think about it, some people have never even gone 12 hours without turning their digestive system off. Sometimes you just need to turn it off. Just let it heal itself. Look, just relax. Now, one of the keys to fasting is when you come off the fasting, when you break the fast. Now, that doesn't mean breakfast, obviously, because you're eating later than in the morning, and we assume breakfast to be with morning times. But it does mean breaking your fast. What do you break your fast with? Important question. Some people say you can eat whatever you want when you're fasting. That's the whole point of fasting. It's not. It's not. If you eat whatever you want, in effect, you're going to actually reverse a lot of the positive effects of fasting. The key is to break the fast with not such harsh foods for your body to process. Soup or bone broth or low sugar fruits or fibers are generally probably some of the best ways to do it. See, the thing is, when you've been fasting and your body's been relaxing, you don't want to just start shoving it through heavy amounts of foods and sugars to process in one go. It's like going to the gym. When you go to the gym, you don't just do a hard workout straight away. You warm up. The other thing is, when you're fasting and you release the growth hormones and you're going through this phase, you want to feed it the right vitamins. You want to feed it nutrients, because while it's got the growth hormone in it, it's the phase where it's absorbing the most. So if you feed it nutrients, those growth hormones are going to help those nutrients activate better and rebuild your body better. And you really don't want to feed it crap, because if you feed it crap, it's going to absorb crap. And essentially you're going to waste the benefit of having the growth hormone in your body. If you want to magnify the benefits of growth hormone, make sure what you break your fast with are good quality foods and the right foods to eat in the morning. I generally have fibers in the morning with some fruits and maybe a bit of soup with some bone broth and some good quality foods. Then for lunch I might have some carbohydrates, some sweet potatoes, maybe some beans or peas. And then at night I try to focus just on proteins. Sometimes I have 3 meals a day, sometimes I just have 2 meals a day. If I have 3 meals a day, I generally have fibers in the morning, carbohydrates at lunch and proteins at dinner. If I'm just having 2 meals a day, I'll generally have fibers and proteins in the morning and proteins at dinner. Now my particular diet includes fibers and some oils and some fruits in the morning, maybe some soup to get your body going. You need some smaller amount of sugars earlier in the day because the sugars actually help the brain going. Now not just any sugar, not some kind of white sugar that you get from 7-Eleven. You want good quality sugars from maybe a banana or some other kinds of fruits, maybe a kiwi. Fruit sugars help the mind operate and help you remember shit and help you function and help your mind work. So everybody running around saying sugars are bad for you, they're actually good for you in small amounts and the right kind of sugars. At lunch I'll have carbohydrate things like sweet potatoes, maybe some brown rice, but usually like leafy vegetables or some good quality vegetables, some good quality foods. At the end of the day I try to focus on proteins. Proteins, again, nutrients, I keep the sugars down, and again, more oils. I'll also have a banana, and I know that's a sugar, but it's got potassium in it and a bit of melatonin, which will help your body rest and get to sleep. Now, the other thing that I particularly do is exercise while I'm in the fasting stage. Now, a lot of people like to eat food and then go and exercise. I personally like to exercise after I've been fasting for about 12 to 16 hours, because I know my body's released growth hormones, and the exercise actually helps more growth hormones be released, especially if it's high intensity exercise. Now you're probably thinking, how can you exercise if you haven't eaten? You're going to be starving. It's actually not the case. You actually get a boost of energy. You drink plenty of water, and that's when sometimes if I am lacking a bit of energy, I'll have a short black and scull a bit of coffee before I go to the gym. But exercising while fasting is actually, in my opinion, a better form of exercise. You're going to get more out of it, and you're really going to burn fats, and you're really going to accelerate the growth hormone. Now the other thing that people tend to do is eat straight after you train. Now I know that kind of makes sense on some way, that after you've trained, your muscles have torn and they've opened up and it's a good time to feed them protein. But in fact, your body starts absorbing more protein after 4 hours, and even more so after 20 hours. So it's actually better to wait after you train, let the growth hormones develop even more. So your body processes protein for the next day after training. So in effect, you're actually feeding your muscles the day after you've trained. Now in saying all this, while I am rather disciplined with my process and I do try to do a minimum of 16 hours, if I am at a mate's place or if I am like doing something and I'm really hungry or I need to eat something, I just eat it. I don't sit there worrying too much, or if I'm on a weekend I might break my fast. Sometimes worrying about this stuff is actually more detrimental with the stress that it causes than the actual benefit of doing the fast. So make sure you enjoy it. The most important part is make sure you have fun with it. See, I've managed to make it a bit of fun for my life. It's a bit of a process. I enjoy stretching myself out. I enjoy the discipline. Like the joy you get from going to the gym or doing a martial arts or doing a sport or learning a musical instrument, you actually get a bit of a joy from fasting. So you want to try and find that crux in what seems to be a painful task. So also in between my eating, I try to have these mini fasts where I don't eat in between my first meal and my second meal and my second meal and my third meal. So I try to have mini fasts where my body and my insulin levels go down. I try to let myself get hungry before I eat. I don't graze. Grazing will make you put on weight. Now, if you're trying to put on weight, that's probably a good thing for you. But if you're trying to maintain a healthy weight or reduce weight, have gaps in between what you eat. Have a gap, eat something large, have another gap, eat something large. In between, if you're hungry, drink water, have a coffee, have a green tea, have something healthy. But try not to put the body in digestion mode. Now, if there's any topic that you want me to research, let me know. If I think that it's of great benefit, I'll research the hell out of it and I'll try and bring it and present it to you in a 10 to 15 minute video. It's what I do, so stay tuned for more videos. If you like my channel and you like what I'm saying, subscribe to my channel, like my Facebook. I've even got an Instagram page where I do a whole bunch of awesome photography, so if you're into that, find me on Instagram and follow me there. And thanks for watching, and share this with any friend that's into health or into diet, or maybe you think needs to look after themselves, or maybe you just think needs some self-eating. Tell them to go eat themselves. Share this video, it's good information, it's useful information, and I think it can help people. And thank you for watching. See you on the next one.